Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DXS101 Shinkalion E5 Hayabusa Mark II from Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalion, the animation. Now I know what you're probably thinking. You haven't done one of these in a long time. And you're right, it has been quite some time since I did a Shinkalion review. I've actually even had this one for a long time and just kind of haven't gotten to it. Newer other stuff has been coming out and kind of getting pushed to the top, and this just kind of got put off to the side for a really long time. I was really into this show, and it's not that it's a bad show, it's not by any means. It just kind of went on way too long. Like most animes kind of finish around the 40 to 50 episode mark, and this has just gone on to like 70 plus episodes. And it's just one of those things where it's just kind of like, I got my fill of it and I just moved on to something else. It's nothing wrong with the show. I just kind of, I got tired of, waiting for the payoff to the mysteries of the show, and I'm like looking for answers, and it just kind of getting stretched out because it's wildly popular in Japan, like crazy, wildly popular. So it totally makes sense that they would want to continue it going on and on and on. But yeah, I kind of got my fill of it, and just kind of, plus they had gotten to the point where like nothing new was really coming out because, I guess they were planning the new stuff, and the show was, pretty much, I think what happened, like this is a complete guess on my part, but I feel like they were getting ready to wrap it up like a normal anime. So, toys kind of dried up because towards the end of a show, they've already released all the toys. And then they just were like, no, we're just going to keep going. Like, I wish they had just stopped and done like a complete season 2, like just waited, 5-6 months and then just do a complete season 2 with, new toys and everything like that. But they kind of just did this weird stretch on mentality. But in any case, they did come out with some new toys. This is the Mark II. This is the only newer thing that I've gotten. There have been 2 or 3 other new ones that I may go back and get at some point, but this is the only new thing that I have right now. But it does look pretty cool. It's like a souped up version of the Hayabusa with Hayato right here on the front. He has this kind of like bird hawk module that he can use to merge with other trains, which is actually pretty sweet. I'll show you that on the back in a minute. To show off some of the packaging here. So I think this looks really cool, and that's why I originally picked it up. It just, because I wasn't watching the show and other things that I was watching, like Rider and Sentai, just kind of got pushed to the forefront as new things for those series would come out. But you can see he's got this kind of like little bird module piece that he can combine with the E6, and then you can get this really cool like combiner robot over here. Now I believe he can combine with, they list all the other robots up here. I believe he can combine with any of the robots. I should say that are like the basic pattern, like, not like Dr. Yellow because he's a different base mold. But since most of these are kind of the same base mold, you should be able to combine with any of those. But for my purposes, I'm just going to use the E6 to show you what that looks like. But I also don't believe this comes with a Shinka card because I believe they have moved well beyond what they had programmed into the Shinka gear. So I don't believe any of these are going to be coming with rail cards because there's no sounds programmed into the Shinka gear for these, which again is another reason I kind of wish they just did a season 2, take a beat, plan everything out, release all new compatible stuff. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get all this out of the box, and we're going to take a closer look. Alright, so this guy definitely has a lot going on, so get ready for a very interesting review here. He's got all these extra bits, which will come into play later on, but if you want, he's got this really cool sword, and it comes with like this sheath, so you can go ahead and take the sword out. It's kind of a softer, rubbery plastic, probably just so kids don't hurt themselves, but you can go ahead and put that into the sheath here. I might have put it in backwards. There we go. And it will kind of click in all the way when you put it in the right way. And then you can connect these pieces to it. It has you connect these like this. And then it wants you to... You know what, I think I might have... Did I do this backwards? I might have done this backwards. Yeah, I think so. It has you... Well, actually, I can tell you. Which way does it have you push this in? Yeah, this goes in like this. So then, yeah, these go in like this. And this clips on here. And I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because I don't really know what this is all for, to be honest, but I don't know if this is supposed to look like something, but they have you peg this all in together like this. I don't know. So anyway, I'm just going to put all this off to the side for a moment. Like I said, it will, of course, come back into play later on. And then you have your 3 train pieces, which you can connect together like we usually do. This clips on into here. I think this goes... Maybe... Am I doing this backwards? No, this should go like this. And then this one should clip on here. There we go. So there you go. There's the train all clipped together. And it does fit any standard plow rail. Wrong plow. It does fit any standard plow rail. So that's pretty cool. Woo! So there you go. Very cool. Gonna go ahead and take this all apart. Or I should say just... Or apparently I will take it apart because that part just fell off. I will say... There we go. Oh goodness, I'm breaking stuff. This middle car is made up of a lot of different pieces, which I'll get into in a minute. It doesn't hold together the best, which is like my only complaint, because this is a really cool set overall, don't get me wrong, but this doesn't hold together. Mostly this part in the back, but you saw these parts. These stay on decently. You just saw it came off a little bit, but this part in the back doesn't really hold together all that well, but I'll dive into it now. I'll show you what I mean. We'll go ahead and we will put together the bird, falcon, hawk, whatever you want to call it, but the hawk module. Alright, so to put the hawk together, you basically take all of this apart. So this is going to come off like this, one on each side. This you kind of like bend it down a little bit, and then this whole section comes out. And then this you can go ahead and put off to the side. We don't use any of this. And then we're going to bring this in, because we're going to use this, really all the pieces that aren't the actual sword in the sheath. Now they say when you're all done you can connect this to the bottom, but I think it looks kind of weird, so I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm just going to put that off to the side. So basically what we're going to do, and it's going to take me a minute to remember how this works, but we're going to peg this, not that one, maybe this one. No, I was right the first time. So this pegs into here like this, and then you do the same thing with this one over here like that. And this is going to kind of become your base. You'll see there are these little pegs that you can pop up right here and right here, and then this is going to be like this. This is going to be the base in a minute. You're going to take this will come off. You're going to take this piece, this is going to flip up. You're going to flip out the little bird head, and then you're going to close it back up, and then you flip this around like that. And you can see there is the little hawk head. It's kind of neat. And that's all paint, which is nice. This is where I mostly have the problem. This piece is, these two pieces here, you're going to, you can see how they kind of have like little tabs so that they kind of sandwich together like that. And then they have two little tabs here and here, which are supposed to peg in here and here. And they do, but they really don't hold together all that well. I don't know. Mine, you can see, they kind of just want to like pop out really easily. I don't know why. You can see what I'm talking about. I don't know. I'm probably doing something wrong. I really don't know. Because there's all these like weird ways. See, this has to like fit into the little beveled area. You can see what I mean right there. But I don't know. This just does not want to stay together very well. And I don't know if I'm... Like when I put in just one, am I doing this at a wrong angle or something? Or... maybe that's it. Maybe that'll keep it better. We'll try it. We'll try that. We'll try to put that at that angle. There's a lot of moving pieces. And it just doesn't... I don't know, like they don't sandwich together very well. That doesn't stay very well. This thing doesn't stay very well. I don't know. It's a whole thing. It doesn't clip together that great. See, like normally for the car mode, you can push that down and peg that together and it does a little better, but yeah, it's just kind of a bummer. And like I said, maybe it's just mine. Maybe no one else is having this problem. I don't know. But it's not. It just, I don't know. Mine doesn't really want to stay. There we go. That's the best I'll get it. So at this point, you can peg the wigs underneath like this. And it's already come off again. These two are going to peg under here like this. And then this kind of sits, that like rectangle piece sits in that little groove right there as like a little tail. So there you go. That is the Hawk. It's okay. It's just not great. One, I don't understand why he's got such a large part on the bottom. I guess you could just take it off and just use the top part if you wanted to, but like I said, it doesn't hold together that well, which is kind of a bummer. I wish it just held together better, because like this just falls right off. Like you can sit it there, you know, gravity will keep it in place, but it's just, I wish it was a little better. It's not terrible, but I wish it was a little better. Alright, so now we'll go into the robot mode with these pieces. Let's see, where am I going to start? I guess I'll start here. This splits down the middle. It's not supposed to split apart, but if it does, it's not a big deal. This is going to come all the way down like so. Oh, you know what? I forgot there's another connector here. So see this piece right here? This flips out. And then that's another connector, which will keep these much better connected like they're supposed to be. And you'll see that for another form, that goes down. And so you'll see why that goes down a little bit later on, but you want to make sure for this mode that it's definitely connected so it doesn't fall apart. You're going to bend this down like this and then bend this up like so. Actually, can I do that yet? Maybe I split these apart first. Oh, you know what? I have to move this part out. Now I can do that. It needs room to move. So you'll see it extends as you do that. And then you can kind of pop those out to the side a little bit. These will pop up and become cool knee pads, like so. Down here, you're just going to kind of fold this up and collapse this against the body, and then you're going to rotate the feet down. This piece is going to pop up. So come over to this part, rotate the feet down. This again just collapses against the body, like so. And there you have your legs for the robot. So kind of sit that there. This part's actually pretty cool. Let's see. For this, we want to first pop this whole section away. Like that. This will flip up. You want to flip this part down like this, and then flip this over here like that. And then this little tab will tab in up here, so this will come up and tab there like that. This will come around. You have to fold this tab out so it can peg in right here where my thumb is, like so. Do the same with the other one. There you go. At that point, you're going to rotate it up like this. This is going to come down like this. Pull it up so it can come hang down like this, and then you're going to push this in, and that'll kind of clip into place. And then you have your head, and then you can see that's the normal kind of chest that connects to this piece like we're kind of used to with these toys. So that will clip into place like so. Let me move this up a little bit, and I'll move the camera in a little bit, but you're going to take these pieces, split them in half, take this. This piece will go like that and clip into place. This will slide down, flip out the fist underneath, and then kind of rotate that around so you have a hand. Rotate this around. Unfortunately, that doesn't really... I wish that collapsed a little bit more into the forearm. It looks like it could, but they just didn't, which is a shame. But then you can see you have a normal connector there, and that's going to connect in here. So you just connect the one arm, and then you're going to do the exact same thing with the other piece. Flip that around, peg that in, drop this down. And it shows how, like, it has this movement here, but the directions don't really... I wonder if it's, like, for posing? I don't know. This can kind of wiggle, but I haven't really been able to figure out what that's for. I'll have to check the directions again. But in any case, then you peg in this arm. And there you go. You have the robot mode. Bring the sword back in. Now they have him, and that's the other thing. This falls off a lot. I mean, it's very easy to just pop back on. It's just a peg and a peg hole, but that really falls off a lot. It just shows you having him, one, take the sword out, have him hold the sword, which looks very cool. They show him just holding the sheath, which you can do. But I also found, it looks a little weird, but you can see that there's a little peg hole right here. You could, if I move the arm out of the way, bring this out a smidge and peg this in here, like so, and have him have the sheath like there on his hip, like you would expect. Now it sticks out kind of far, but it's an option. I'm going to take it off for now, but it's an option I found. I think it looks neat. I just wish it was a little farther back, but otherwise, pretty cool robot mode. I like it quite a bit. So I think it looks pretty cool. It's got a decent amount of paint applications. The head, I think, looks really good. It does have a few stickers here, stickers on the sides here, here on the kind of waist area. There's actually a sticker in the torso up here that you almost don't see. Stickers here, a couple stickers down here like on the shins. So, but the stickers go on really nice. Honestly, I was really surprised. They're a very thin kind of holofoil sticker, and it adheres very quickly and sticks pretty well, knock on wood. So I'm hoping that it doesn't become a problem. It actually looks pretty decent. This little kibble on the back is not great, but what are you going to do? Head can swivel on a ball joint. You have that ratchet in the shoulder. You have a little bit of movement here. You have a bicep swivel. You have pretty much actually over 90 degrees in the elbow. Wrist doesn't move because of how it transforms. Hips can kind of go a little bit in and out to the side. You have movement here. You have a kind of a thigh swivel right above the knee. I guess right below the knee. Is that its knee? No, it has another knee down here, yeah. So it's kind of got two knees. I don't know. It's weird. And then you have a little bit of an ankle tilt as well. Not much, but a little bit. But yeah, he's cool. I like him. He's definitely not the same as the first version of the E5. It's a very different mold. It's not just like they remolded a little bit and threw the same toy at you. It's very different. And it's really cool. I like it a lot. Nice paint. The green and the pink I still think work really well. New head design's very cool. I feel like it's got more articulation than the original. I love the giant katana. I think that looks really, really cool. Yeah, I like him. I like him quite a bit. So he does have a combination with another train. I'm going to use the E6 as I stated previously. You're going to want to take the bottom part of the E6 and transform it into the normal like robot legs like you would like you're just transforming E6. And then you're going to want to take the top of the E6 and keep him completely in the train formation. So kind of a half and half transformation for him. I'm going to put those pieces just off to the side for now. You can see we have the hawk here. He's going to pretty much come apart. These pieces can stay together just like this. They'll come into play later. These pieces are actually going to become like knee pads, which will help shore up the configuration. That's going to go off to the side. Obviously, that's going to go on the head. It's a head crest. This piece actually just kind of gets stuck somewhere. It doesn't really do anything. So you can just kind of put that together like that and put that off to the side. And then these are probably the most significant. You're going to push this down, open this up, pop those hands out, and leave that like that for now. And actually, I can show you what we do. We're going to take this guy apart. We're going to pop the arms off. And then we're going to take the legs and the chest apart, put that off to the side. So if you want, you can go ahead and just take the arms. You're going to peg the tiny fist into this peg hole down here, just like so. And then you can see that there is another peg right here, which is going to peg into the bottom of the fist. And that's just to kind of give him a little bit bigger forearms and fists, just so it doesn't look ridiculous. And then you can go ahead and pop that back. And that actually hides away pretty well. So that arm's ready to go. You're going to take the other arm, do the exact same thing. It's very simple. And then boom, now that arm's ready to go. Put that off to the side. We're going to take the legs, and this is probably the biggest transformation. It's actually really cool. You're going to split this apart like I showed you earlier, and now you're going to push that piece back in, okay? You're going to straighten this all out. That's actually going to peg down into itself. You're going to drop the wheel down like this. You're going to bend this here at that double knee, and then this tab here is going to peg in to that little spot right there. So that's going to peg in just like that. Then you're going to take this, kind of bring it up, rotate that around 180 degrees, and then kind of bring that so it's kind of straight up. You're going to take the whole leg piece here, flip this around, bend this down, flip out this little tab like that. Let me get a little bit closer. You're going to see this tab, I think it's this spot right here. This is going to kind of come up, and then this is going to go down and kind of rest in there, just like that. Then you can pull that, pop that back like that, and there you go. You have kind of a boot shoe piece that you'll see. So we're going to do the same exact thing with this piece. We're going to push that in till it snaps into place. We're going to fold this down. We're going to bring this around at that double bend. Peg that in there. Then we're going to pop this out. We're going to bring this up, spin it around, and then kind of put it down like that. Flip this piece out, bring this up, flip this up, and then that's going to go down into there, just like so. And then this folds back like that. And there is your second boot. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the E6 legs. And let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. This should be on the inside, I think. Let me look at the box real quick. Yes, the green goes to the outside. So you see this little slot right here, right there. That's where the front of this boot is going to go into. And then that is going to peg in to this peg right here. So this is going to go in there and then peg down. And you're going to do the exact same thing with this one. And so he's got both of his shoes on now. And let me zoom out. Zoom out. There we go. So there you go. At this point, you can kind of just position these a little bit, but you can take these pieces that I told you about, and they are going to clip onto here. And this piece is going to go in here to kind of stabilize the leg, because you're going to be putting like a lot more weight than this is kind of used to. So you're going to pop these in here, and that's going to just fill in those knees and really give you stabilization that you're going to desperately need in a little bit. All right, the last piece to configure is this section. Now, this is going to be kind of interesting because it's going to completely split apart all the way down the center. Oops, that sounded bad. You're going to bring this all the way apart, bring this all the way down. So kind of completely stretch that apart. This, does this go back down? I can't remember what happens with this. I think this folds back down. Yeah, those just kind of hang out there now for a second. So then you're going to take this and slide this through here. Now these two tabs, or pegs I should say, that and that, are going to peg in right here and here. So you just kind of have to thread this through, And it's a little difficult to do. But then once you get this lined up, you can peg it in. It is kind of difficult, I will be honest. But there you go. Once you get that in, it's pegged in. This kind of sits here. This they have you bring up. Now you can see that there's a tiny little peg right there. And there's a tiny little spot right there. They want you to come and have that peg in like that. So that's pretty much it for this torso section. So then you bring in your legs and peg this in. And it's a little easier said than done, but there we go. And you might want to be careful because these pieces tend to get in the way of this. You can kind of push them up under. I kind of like doing that just because I feel like it gives it a little bit more support. I know it's not much, but I kind of feel like it does. Let me tilt this up. So straighten the head. Then you're going to take your arms and kind of peg them back where you had them originally. This all came on. See, it doesn't stay together 100%. I wish it pegged in better. Do I not have it pushed down enough? Maybe that's it. I don't know. There we go. Okay. Like I said, it's not like it's going to fall apart. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it could be a little better. I wish it just pegged in a little bit more together, but it's not bad. At this point, you're going to take these wing pieces, and I guess you could switch these if you wanted to. I might do that just so they're not, you don't see the like empty pieces, but you're going to peg these in here. Hold on, am I doing this wrong? It's very possible. All right, there's just these little tabs right here. I think this one pegs in here. Yes, this, and then you just fold it like that. So bring this one around here, peg this in like so, and then this tabs in here. There we go. Now he's got the wings going. Then you're going to put this crest on top like so, and then you actually have to bring in, where did I put it? The little red crest from the E6. And then that slides in on the side of his head, just like it used to when you used to do the other crosses. And then they want you to take this piece that was the piece that had the little falcon head. And I don't know, they want you to peg it in here for some reason. Just for storage, I guess. You don't have to. If you want to just put it off to the side, you could certainly do that. But there you go. There is the E5 Mark II cross with the E6. I think this looks really cool. And the fact that you can do it with pretty much any one of the trains that shares the same base mold is actually really cool. I mean, technically you could probably cross it with the E5 Mark I to give it a uniform color scheme, but I think it's cool to throw another color scheme in here just to break it up a little bit. And the red actually works really well with the green, so I think this is really cool. They do want you to take this. I mean, you could still give them the sword, but they have you use this as a gun now. And the directions actually tell you to take the E5 guns. I'm sorry, the E6 guns, and peg them onto the sides. Or do they have it on the... Can't remember if they have it on the top. No, they probably have it down here because otherwise it doesn't work. Although I guess technically it doesn't work this way either. Maybe like this. I don't know. I swear the directions have you peg the E5 guns onto the side. I swear I did this before too, and it worked fine. I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, because the way the guns have it on the same side. So I swear it tells you to do this, and I did it earlier. Maybe take the sword out, and it would work. I don't know. If you do it like this, it should work. Something like that. Either way, they want you to use this as a gun now, and then you can put it in his hand. Really, you could do this as a gun and then give him the sword in this hand. That's the way to do it. It's a little heavy, though, so it's going to be difficult. There we go, something like that. We'll make it work. It's got pretty much, like, it's really got no articulation below the waist because everything's kind of keeping itself up. But the arm articulation is exactly the same as before. You have the same swivels, same movement there. Head can still move on the ball joint. But yeah, it's a pretty cool combination, I have to say. And like I said, very different from the old combinations where you literally just switch the shirts and pants. This is like a full-on integration, which I think is really, really cool. So definitely very interested in this combine mode. I like the robot and the hawk, but I think this is better than those two pieces separately. So I have to say, I think this figure is pretty cool. I mean, the train mode is very consistent with what we've seen before. The figure is actually really cool. I love the combined mode with another train. I think that looks really cool. But it has a few little problems. The hawk mode, or little module, whatever you want to call it, it just doesn't hold together well. At least mine doesn't. Maybe it's just mine. I hope it's just mine so other people don't have the same problem. But this top section with the wings just doesn't really hold together very well. The huge bottom part, like the boat feet on a plane or something. I don't really know what's going on there. One of those little seaplanes. See, it just keeps falling apart. I don't know. I mean, I appreciate what they're going for. You know, the little extra little bird companion, and you need the pieces later on for the combine mode. It's neat. It's just not perfect. But I really do like both robot modes. I think the sword is really cool. So overall, I would say it's probably, you know, it's a high 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10. It's a great toy. It's just not perfect. The only other complaint I had was that in the combine mode, getting the other train that comes in to peg in was a little difficult, and if you move the arms it could pop it off, and that's kind of annoying. Again, not a huge problem, but minor nitpicks. So those would be like the only things that I would really complain about. Otherwise, I think it's really cool. The engineering of the toy is really cool, and you know, kind of, I don't want to say it's getting me back into Shinkalion because I'm probably still not going to watch the show. Just because I'm so far behind at this point. I think I'm like 30 episodes behind, and it's probably just not going to happen. But it makes me excited to maybe pick up some more figures down the line. Because like I said, I think they have 2 or 3 other ones that are available now. So I'm thinking about maybe picking those up eventually. And there's a new line coming out, Earth Granaire or something? Earth Granner? I'm not quite sure what it's called. But it's kind of a mix of like animals and... not Shinkalion. What's the other one? Now I'm blanking on that. Drivehead. It's like you can tell some of the molds are like derived from the Drivehead molds, and but it's got animals incorporated into it. It just looks really, really cool. So between that coming out soon, it might kind of renew my interest in Shinkalion since they're all made by Takara and they're all kind of generally connected. I think they did a Shinkalion Drivehead team up in the past, so it wouldn't surprise me if this new show gets kind of incorporated and they could do like a you know, all 3 of them kind of come together for some kind of mashup or something. Could be pretty cool. So yeah, basically that's where I'm at with this one. I think it's very cool. It's not perfect, but do I think it's worth picking up? Yeah, I think you're still gonna have fun with it. The few problems it has are just minorly annoying. Certainly not a deal breaker in any respect. So that's going to do it for this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.